Welcome to Journey of One. This is a show where I travel around Southern California to check out fun events and interesting places to see. Many times I'll be on my own, showing that you can have a unique experience when you travel solo, as well as showing that it's okay to do things on your own. But if friends or family join you, then all the better. So thanks for watching. Let's begin the journey. This week, I headed back through the horrible Los Angeles traffic north on the 110 freeway to the 5 North Freeway on my way to Griffith Park. Griffith Park is over 4,200 acres of parkland and wilderness located in the eastern Santa Monica mountain range. There is a wide variety of activities to do there, so make your first stop the visitor center at the ranger station, where you can see the history of the park and get directions and help from the kind and knowledgeable staff. There, they also have this 3D map of the park. Here you can see the major hiking trails lit up. This blue one leads to the Hollywood sign. My first stop, however, would be the famous Griffith Observatory. Unfortunately, along the way, this blue SUV, also on her way to the observatory, accidentally changed lanes and hit my car, jamming the driver's door shut, meaning I had to crawl out of the passenger side door the rest of the day. It also meant that I was unable to get to the observatory early enough to go on a hike as I'd planned, or to even park close. Instead, I got my hike walking from a good distance away to get there, which ended up being okay, as I got to see this great view along the way there. There were so many trails wandering all over. I will for sure be returning to hike along them in the future. I finally arrived at the Griffith Observatory, one of the most famous LA landmarks, seen in dozens of movies and TV shows, and for good reason why. The observatory is stunning, inside and out, with its grand architecture and beautiful artwork on the walls and ceiling. This Foucault pendulum hanging from the roof is actually a working proof of the rotation of the Earth, as the pendulum swings in a constant direction, not turning with the building as it rotates with the Earth. I loved this camera obscura, which is nature's camera. Using only a tiny hole on the top of the building, it reflects the cityscape, using only a mirror. You can make one yourself. Give it a try. Continuing along the east wing of the observatory, they had exhibits of how telescopes work and the many ways we have observed the universe throughout history, up until today's modern tools that allow us to look into the heavens. The west wing of the observatory explored the moon, the sun, and the ways that it affects our world. There was also a pretty neat periodic table displayed that lit up and showed representations of the elements, and there was also 3 different live images of the sun, letting you view it safely without burning your retinas to toast whilst doing so. I headed back outside along the outer walls to see the other reason people visit, the awe-inspiring views of all of Los Angeles. Unfortunately, the perpetual smog diminished the beauty a bit, but it was still amazing to see the city spread out before you. It also gives you one of the closest views of the world-famous Hollywood sign, even closer than the one I showed you a few weeks ago. I'll be posting more shots of the view on the Journey of One website if you'd like to see more. Back in 2002, the observatory closed and underwent comprehensive renovations, adding an entire underground level before reopening 4 years later. Here they added some amazing new things, like a scale representation of our solar system. Here you can see Pluto and its moon. The scale of the sun is shown as the size of the entire wall behind these people. Along the entire back wall is a giant image of the night sky called the Big Picture, showing countless stars and galaxies. I stared for far too long at this giant, detailed model of the moon, watching it spin around. Also added during the renovation was the Leonard Nimoy Event Horizon Theater, where they show a video of the history of the observatory narrated by the late great Leonard Nimoy himself. While visiting, you can grab a bite at Wolfgang Puck's End of the Universe Cafe. From there, I headed to the roof to get a closer look at the telescopes, which you can view at night and see the universe in a whole new way. Finally, it was time to see the main event of any visit, to see a show in the Samuel Ocean Planetarium. Be sure to buy tickets early, they go fast for each window. I chose the Light of the Valkyries show, which talked about the Viking mythologies and how it explained the stars and the aurora borealis phenomenon. Once inside the planetarium, be sure to grab one of these comfy reclining seats in a middle row. You don't want to be too close to the projector or to the wall to get the full experience. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you any of the show itself, but it was incredible to see the roof become the night sky. I was momentarily choked up in awe seeing the stars projected above. It was breathtaking, immensely enjoyable, and educational. Once outside, I saw they were firing up this huge Tesla coil, which I caught here in slow motion, a perfect aftershow to the planetarium experience. As the sun lowered in the sky, I headed out for another peek at the view before leaving. Here is a trailhead leading away from the observatory, one I plan to take next time I come. And with one last look at the city and Griffith Observatory, I headed out to another part of the park for one last event. Tonight was the Great Horror Movie Night, showing the classic horror movie The Shining at the old abandoned zoo in the Griffith Park. Plenty of people lined up to visit this supposedly haunted zoo with the old animal enclosures to camp out and watch the movie. I wasn't expecting so many people. I didn't know what to expect really, but it was quite the turnout, including this actual marriage proposal during the pre-show activities. And yes, she did say yes. While waiting for the sun to set, the host played some trivia games with the audience, with a nice horror twist, of course. Also wandering around the campground were several monsters, waiting to scare and delight the moviegoers. As the night fell, the crowd really filled in. The nice ladies next to me were well prepared with blankets, seat cushions, and a feast of food and snacks to enjoy the movie. I had brought a half-empty soda and some Hostess cupcakes. I liked that they showed the Simpsons version of The Shining during the previews to the movie. As it was April Fool's, they pranked us by starting to show Grease 2 instead of The Shining, a horror of its own. After revealing the April Fool's joke, they did one last giveaway, giving out tickets to the next movie nights when they show Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th next month. And then they showed a creepy trailer for their other event, the Great Horror Campout, where you actually camp out in the woods and spend the night running for your life as you're chased by monsters, hoping to survive till dawn. I really want to go to this. Who's with me? It was finally showtime. It was really cool to experience seeing The Shining in this way. Such a great movie and a great way to cap off the day at Griffith Park. Thanks as always for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check back next week as I go on another Journey of One.